Okay, so in your notebook, page 18, it's labeled up here. It's the next open page, page 18, title it Physical and Chemical Changes. And we are going to take these 8 boxes, I think I'm frozen, and we're going to put them into a T-chart. What is a T-chart? Gabe? Okay, it's a chart that looks like a giant T. So let's go ahead and draw our T-chart. What do you think is going to go on our T-chart, Gabe? Physical and chemical changes. So I'll just write physical on the left side and chemical on the right. And before we sort these, we're going to do a quick recap of our notes. What are some things that happen in a physical change? How can I tell that a physical change has occurred? Emma? Is that physical or is that chemical? What's the main difference? We'll start with that one. The main difference between a physical and a chemical change. The main difference. Elise?
A physical change, you can see if it changes, and a chemical change, you can smell if it changes.
Okay, that is true, but that's not the main difference between them. Who remembers the main difference between a physical and a chemical?
A physical, the outside changes, and a chemical, the inside.
Okay, that's still true, but there's one main difference. Emma? What do you mean by the whole thing? New substance. A chemical change results in a new substance. Results in a new substance. A chemical change, the substance stays the same. Okay, so let's now just go to physical. So what are some things we said change in a physical change? The substance stays the same, but what are some things that could change? Gabe?
The way it looks.
Okay, how it looks. And I'm not going to write that one because that could also be in chemical. Let's be more specific. What about how it looks? What could change? Carter? The shape could change. What else? Braylon?
The color.
Not the color for physical. Elise?
How it looks.
But again, how it looks could be color, so we can't just say how it looks. The shape and the size. Size and shape can change. Okay. Now for chemical. What are some things that change? The color. Here's where it's color, and we see color. That's why I don't like saying things you can see. Color. Carter? Texture. Possibly. Emma? Smell. And if a food smells bad, what else is probably bad with it? The taste. So I'm going to put and taste. Change. Okay, now we're going to use those to help us choose which side these 8 pictures go on. So you will also need a glue stick. Jackson, pick up one of those little cards. Which one did you pick up?
Digesting food.
Ooh, he picked up the cow, and it says digesting food. He picked up the hard one. So, do we think digesting food is a physical change or a chemical change, and why? Hutley?
Physical.
Why?
Because if you're digesting food, that means you're changing its size and shape.
Okay, so I'm going to get gross here for a second. Hutley, what'd you have for lunch?
Salisbury steak.
Salisbury steak. So it went in as Salisbury steak. Does it come out as Salisbury steak? No. So are you going to change your answer, Hutley? It's chemical because it's a whole new substance when you're done digesting it. Okay, so digesting food is a chemical change. So go ahead and glue the digesting food over on the right side. Shh. I'm just going to draw a box. Guys, quietly just glue it on. Digesting food is a chemical change. And it's because chemicals inside your body have to break down that food to digest it. But the easiest way to remember that one is that it goes in as an apple. It does not come back out as an apple. Elia, pick one up. Which one do you have? A nail rusting. Addie J, which side is that one going to go on? Chemical change. Why? Yeah, the rust is a whole new substance. So a nail rusting is an example of a chemical change. Gabe, pick one up.
Bending a bar.
Bending a bar. Which side do you think that goes on? Physical. Why?
Because you're changing its shape.
Yeah, all you're doing is changing the shape. Is it still a bar when you're done with it?
Yes.
Yes, it's just a bent bar. So bend bar is a physical change. Elise, pick one up.
Fireworks exploding.
Fireworks exploding. What do you think?
Physical.
So when you're done, do you still have fireworks?
Chemical.
It's a chemical change. Fireworks are chemical. There has to be a chemical reaction for those sparks to go flying in the air. So fireworks are chemical. Bryson. Paper tearing. Which side does that go on? Physical, because do you still have paper when you're done?
Yeah.
Yes. Paper tearing is a physical change. Braxton.
Cutting an apple.
Cutting an apple. After you cut an apple, do you still have an apple?
Yeah.
Yes. So where does it go, Braxton? Physical. Cutting an apple is a physical. Emily, you want to try the last one? It's a tricky one too. Or you have two left? Okay. Go ahead. Which one?
Frying an egg.
Frying an egg. This one's kind of tricky.
Physical.
It is not physical. Okay, if it's cooking, there has to be a chemical reaction occurring. It's going from a raw egg to a cooked egg. So it is a new substance per se. And that's kind of like the rotten tomatoes. That's the only thing I don't like about that definition of it results in a new substance. A tomato and a rotten tomato are still a tomato, but one's like edible and one's not. So frying an egg is a chemical change. That one's a tricky one. Frying an egg is chemical. Lexi, what's the last one?
Popsicle melting.
A popsicle melting. Where does that go? Is it still a popsicle? Yeah, it's still a popsicle. It's just in liquid form now, right? So that is a physical change. Popsicle melting. Okay, so what we're going to do for the rest of the time is today we're just going to kind of test your knowledge, and not like with a test, but test your knowledge over mixtures and solutions and chemical and physical changes. So I have a handout for you. Okay, I'm going to call it the task card worksheet because there are 8 questions on it. Okay, what you have for homework, and it's going to sound like a lot, but we have 28 minutes. Okay, you have 2 ed puzzles to complete. What do you think one of them's on? Physical and chemical changes, and I think it's mostly just on chemical changes. And mixtures and solutions. Okay, so you have 2 ed puzzles. I don't remember how long they are, but they're both under 5 minutes. And then you have these 8 task card questions. Does that make sense? So you can go ahead. I don't care which one you start with. I'm going to pass this out. Just remember you have 2 ed puzzles and this piece of paper. I'll write it up on the homework board.